Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to start with Unit 2, Chapter 3. The name of the chapter is Elasticity of Demand. Now, before we go to elasticity of demand, let me remind you about the law of demand which you have learned before. Law of demand was the relationship between the price and quantity demanded of a particular product. We see where the price is increasing or decreasing. If the price is increasing, the demand for the particular product goes down, right? In case of now elasticity of demand, there is a responsiveness of the quantity demanded. Now, what is responsiveness of quantity demanded means how much the quantity has been changed due to change in a particular variable. Now, variable can be three variables, that is price of a commodity, price of related commodities, and consumer income. In elasticity of demand, we have three variables, that is the prices of related commodities, and the consumer's income. But in law of demand, we were having only the price changes with the demand. In case of elasticity of demand, we will see how the price changes according to the demand of a particular product. Now it will depend on the three variables, and we will study these three variables in the next slides. The first, okay, before we go to the three variables, one definition is given by Alfred Marshall. He is a British economist, and he said that the elasticity or the responsiveness, elasticity means how much the demand in a market is great or small according as the amount demanded increases much or little for a given fall in price and diminishes much or little for a given rise in price. This is just a definition, and already I have told you what is the meaning of this definition is that we see how the changes in price of a particular product have the effect of changes in demand for that particular product. When it is increases, how much it is increases or how less it is falling. And if it is decreasing, how much it is decreasing and how much it is increasing. How much is most important in this elasticity of demand. So in the next slide, we'll go one by one with the examples. First of all, let's see the example. Let's say, first example, the price of a headphone falls from 500 rupees to 400 rupees per unit. One piece of headphone is 500 rupees, and this 500 rupees was reduced to 400 rupees. So if the price of the headphone is reduced by 100 rupees, what is the demand? What will be the result of the demand? The demand increases from 100 to 150 units. That means the difference of the demand is 50 units, right? So that is called is elasticity of demand. How much in the price, if the price of the headphone is 500 rupees, it has fallen to 400 rupees, then the demand is increasing from 100 to 150. Previously, people used to buy 100 units for 500 rupees. Now if the price has fallen to 400, they are buying 150 units. Okay, the same example again. In example number 2, they are saying due to government subsidy, the price of rice falls from rupees 10 per kg to rupees 9 per kg. Now rice example is given. 1 kg was costing rupees 10 rupees before, and now the price has been reduced to 9 kg. For because of these changes in the price, because of the change in the price, what is the demand of that product? Demand of rice in that case. So what it is saying, the demand increases from 500 kg to 520 kg just because there is a changes in the price of the product. From 10 kg it became 9 kg per kg, rupees 10. From rupees 10 to rupees 9 kg it became less. That's why the demand will increase from 500 kg to 520 kg. So there is a difference. If the price difference is 1 rupees, then the demand is increasing by 20 kgs, right? So this is how the elasticity of demand works. How much it has been changed, it is mainly displayed in the elasticity of demand. Now the third example, this change sensitiveness or responsiveness may be small or great. Yeah, it might be small or great. Here also you can see here the difference between the rice fall price falling was only 1 rupees, and in this case the headphone price was falling from 500 to 400 rupees. There was a difference of 100 rupees, right? So it may be small or great. Now for the example of salt, they are saying even a big fall in price may not induce an appreciable extension in its demand. Now we'll take the example of salt. Now price of salt is increased or decreased. What will be the case in the demand? Now if the price of salt is decreased or increased, do you think that the salt will be consumed in more when the salt price is decreased? No. There will be no changes. Mostly there will be no changes in the consumption of salt. How much salt you want to eat, that much only you will be eating it. But whether the if the salt price is increased, let's say, so demand for that salt will not be that much. If the salt price is decreased also, there will not be so much difference in the demand of the product, because if the price is decreased for salt, it does not mean that you are going to take more salt, and if the price is increased, that does not mean that you will eat less salt, right? So this is sensitiveness. It depends on what kind of product a price are changing or decreasing. On the other hand, if a slight fall in the price of oranges, now oranges is there, may cause a considerable extension in the demand. It might have some extension in the demand. Now what does it mean? In case of price of an orange, now price of the oranges is increased. Now if the price of oranges increase, the demand of orange might go down, right? You might consume less. And in case orange price is going down, then you will have the tendency to buy that product more. You will try to buy more oranges and you try to consume it, right? So in this case the demand might increase. But in case of salt, it was not like that. Even if the price is increased, salt, that does not mean that you will eat less salt, right? So in this case, what it is saying in the former case means in case of salt, the elasticity of demand, that means how the price and the demand react to each other, it is called inelastic. Means there is not much difference in the demand of that particular product. Whether salt prices increase or decrease, the demand of that product, the salt, is not changing much. That is called inelastic. And in case of later case, that is in case of orange, there is some kind of difference. If the price of oranges is increased, the demand for the oranges will go down. And if the price of oranges is increased, the demand for the the demand of if the price of oranges is decreased, the demand for the oranges will be increased. So there is a difference between between the prices and the demand of that product. When it is changes is more, when the price and the demand changes is more, then it is called as elastic. And in elastic, there is not much difference between the price and the quantity demanded. So these are the examples, few examples of elasticity of demand. Now let's see what are the types of elasticity of demand. The types of elasticity of demand, these are the different variables which I have told you in the first slide. The variables on which demand can depend are price of the commodity, price of related commodities, and consumers' income. Now first is the price of the commodity. If we say the quantity demanded is changing because of the price, that is called as price elasticity. Now price elasticity of demand is the response of the quantity demanded to the change in the price of a commodity. If the price of a commodity is changed, then how the demand is changed, the quantity demanded is changed, it is on the basis of price elasticity. Now for this one, there is a formula which we need to understand, that is change in quantity demanded divided by change in price. What is the change in the quantity demanded? How much quantity you will be demanding if there is any change in the price, whether it is increased or decreased. So the result obtained from this formula determines the intensity of the effect of price change on the quantity demanded of a commodity. Main thing in price elasticity of demand is you have to see whether the price, how the price have affected the demand of that particular product. It is the relation only with the price and the quantity demanded. And we need to see the changes, not only the price and the quantity, but the changes between the prices change and the quantity demanded change. Next is income elasticity. Now, income elasticity is depending on the income of a particular person. If the income of a particular person is increased, then the demand for certain goods will increase. And if the income is less, income is not that much, income is decreased, then the demand of a particular product might go down. Now, in this case, elasticity, income elasticity, it is mainly the relationship of the income of a particular product and the demand of that particular product. Now, the formula is percentage change in quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in income. Due to change in income, how much quantity you demand, that is income elasticity. Now, in this income elasticity, we mainly use to find out whether the good is of necessity goods or luxury goods. Luxury goods only you can buy when you're having lots of income, right? Necessity goods are those goods which you need it every day for surviving in the world, right? So in that case, income elasticity, it mainly helps us to determine whether the goods which you are using, you are utilizing, that is your necessity or that is your luxury goods. That depends on the income of a person. If the income of a person is more, then they can go for luxurious goods also. If the income of a person is less, then luxury goods, they will skip it and they will go for necessity goods, which are very much essential to survive in the lifetime. Okay, now in this elasticity, income elasticity, one more thing I want to add up, that the relationship between these changes in quantity demanded and changes in income will always be positive. Will always be positive. What does it mean? When income of a person increases, demand of a particular product also increases. And if the income of a particular person decreases, the demand of a particular product will also decrease. So there is a positive relation between the change in quantity demanded and change in income. And I forgot one thing, in price elasticity, the relationship between the change in the quantity demanded and the change in price. In case of price elasticity, there is a negative relationship between the price and the quantity demanded. That is inverse relationship between the price and the quantity demanded. Now next we will go to the third type of elasticity of demand, that is the cross elasticity of demand. Now, what is the cross elasticity of a demand? It is the demand of a commodity X, any example, for another commodity Y. X and Y are two commodities. Now we have to see the changes in demand of commodity X due to change in the price of commodity Y. There are two goods which you have to see how the prices are increased and what effect the is there in the demand of another product. The example of this, the formula of this is change in quantity demanded for one good divided by change in price of another good. Now in this case, the result will be for substitute good and for the complementary goods. Now what is substitute goods and complementary goods? I have already explained in the previous slides. Now again, I'll be explaining to you again what is substitute goods. Substitute goods are those goods which are used in place of another. Like you prefer tea over coffee or coffee over tea. So it can be exchanged. If you are taking tea and you don't like coffee, okay, and you can substitute those goods. If the price of tea is increased, let's say, then you will definitely go for coffee. And if coffee's price is increased, then you go for substituting it with tea. So in case of cross elasticity of demand, whenever there is substitute goods, you can exchange the goods for something, then it is always positive. And in case of complementary goods, it is always negative. What is complementary goods? Complementary goods which are used together, like pen and ink, like car and petrol, all these are examples of complementary goods. So when the price of a particular product, when the price of a car is increased, let's say, the price of petrol might decrease. Okay, and in case price of petrol is increased, the price or the demand for the car might be less. So this is the example of complementary goods. So in cross elasticity, we mainly see the difference between one product, the demand of one product, how it changes, or how it changes depending on the price of different product, that is Y. So next is your five types of price elasticity of demand. Now it has been explained what are the elasticity of demand. Elasticity of demand is how much the price is having effect. Changes in price have effect on the quantity demanded of a product. Now, elastic demand is one when the response of demand is greater with a small proportion change in the price. On the other hand, inelastic demand is the one when there is relatively a less change in the demand with a greater change in the price. Now, elastic, I told you, elastic means when the price of a particular product increases. Okay, the demand will, the changes in the demand will be more, then that is called elastic. I have given the example of oranges, right? So that is elastic. On the other hand, inelastic means if the price of the product is increased, there is not much changes, there is not much change in the difference, less change in the demand. Okay, then in that case it is inelastic. Example was salt. So these are all the five types of elasticity of demand. So in graphic form it has been given. That is, first is perfectly elastic, second is perfectly inelastic, unitary elastic, relatively elastic, and relatively inelastic. So these are very important, and you need to know all the diagrams of these elasticity. These are all the price elasticity of demand, and what are the formulas of these elasticities you need to know it very well. So hope so. And in this price elasticity of demand, all these perfectly elastic, inelastic, unitary elastic, relatively elastic, and relatively inelastic, all these five elasticities of demand are very important, and we'll be explaining this in the next video. So hope you have liked this video. If you have liked, please like the video. Thank you.